We are at the friend's house in London for the Tech Mahindra Global Chess League and a handshake between two friends and enemies on the board, Anish Giri and Magnus Carlsen. They both have a very huge history between them of fighting over the board, of fighting on Twitter. Today they are playing for their respective teams at the Global Chess League. Anish for the PBG Alaskan Knights, which is playing brilliantly in this tournament, and Magnus Carlsen for the Alpine SG Pipers, who's trying to make a comeback here. And this match is very important for them to beat the Alaskan Knights. The arbiter signals to start the game, and off we go. Anish starts with 1 d4, and Magnus here thinking whether he should go knight f6, d5. These are the possibilities. He goes knight f6, c4, e6. Knight comes out to f3, and we have the queen's gambit declined. Anish goes for the Catalan, an interesting choice because it is one of Magnus's favorite openings with white pieces, and Anish uses it against him. Both sides castle, and Magnus plays the closed Catalan. I think it's an interesting choice by Magnus because he wants to keep more pieces on the board. He wants to try and somehow outwit Anish with the black pieces, which is not easy because Anish Giri is quite a strong player and he's very well prepared. Now bishop a6 puts pressure on the c4 pawn. Anish takes on d5, and here you can take back with the pawn, but Magnus tries to create some imbalance. He takes with the knight here, and Anish says, well, you can capture my knight, you can also take my bishop, which I am happy. Magnus takes the bishop, now has the bishop pair, but has more control on e5 square. Rook comes to the center of the board. This position is maybe slightly more pleasant for white. You can see how Anish centralizes all his pieces. They are all well placed, and Magnus would be trying for this c5 breakthrough, but for now c5 can be met with d5. e3 is a strong move, just simply defending everything here. And there's one plan like king h1, rook g1 also possible. Knight can jump to e5. He goes a3. Bishop comes back, preparing to play the move c5. He tries to stop it with b4, and Magnus now starts to think. He has 15 minutes. Rook d8, queen comes to b3, and Anish has 17 minutes on the clock, and finally the breakthrough comes. I think the best move is to push the pawn, but Anish takes. Magnus takes back, and d5 is still roundabout even. But Anish thinks for a bit and attacks the bishop now on b7. Magnus chops off the knight. Anish now takes back, and it's important now to take here, and this would be around equal because after takes, this is fine. But he blunders here. He plays rook takes d4. This is a very bad move because he's absolutely blundered. You can see Magnus now completely zoned in on the board. He sees it. He takes rook takes c3. Anish shakes his head in disbelief. He simply blundered a piece. Queen takes, rook takes. You cannot take here because the rook is hanging, and if you take with the rook, knight takes, and the piece is lost. Anish resigns in just 22 moves, completely forgetting this entire thing. Magnus is of course not very thrilled. He knows that his opponent just blundered this, but a win is an important win for the team of Alpine SG Pipers, who get 4 points for this victory. The unfortunate thing for Magnus and his team is, in spite of this victory, they lost the match because Nodirbek beat Pragnananda and Tanjongi beat Hoyifan. So Anish's loss did not hurt his team so much.